How's it going, fellow traders? Magic Trader here, and this is the CFTC report for the data that was recorded on September 7, 2021. So we're going to go through the positions held by the institutions, and we're going to take a look at what they've been doing with price. So let's start off by taking a look at gold. So what do we see with gold? Now, over the last few weeks, the institutions have been adding to their long positions, causing them to increase from 284 up to 311,000. Now, just recently we saw a big decrease in those long positions, dropping them from 311,000 to 306,000. Okay, and that came as price was consolidating right here at the highs. All right, so price is consolidating here at the highs, and then all of a sudden it drops down. So what is taking place here? Well, we've talked about this chart for quite some time with respect to gold, and what we've pointed out is that price is in a range on this weekly chart. All right, price is sitting between some supply that we have in the charts and some major demand that we have on the charts down here. Now, as long as price remains in this area, between these areas of supply and demand, it's going to be very unpredictable. Okay, whether it moves up or down is going to be very unpredictable. Price can go halfway up and then drop, and then come all the way up and then halfway down and then turn around. It can do a bunch of this. This is how price reacts when it is stuck in a range. Okay, so the best we can do is just watch to see what the institutions do with their positions, take a look at the other correlated markets and see what they are doing. But as far as we can see, they've taken profits on long positions. Now, we've talked about why price rallied the way it did and what the institutions were doing down here. All right, we talked about the manipulation and how they lured in retail traders to get in short as price was heading lower, and then they reversed it back up. Okay, and so now if you take a look at what's happening here, they've started to get in long, the retail traders, and that's exactly when the banks start taking profits on the long positions. So it's going to take some time until this eventually plays out. So we're going to continue to monitor this one very closely. Now we have oil, and we can see on oil that if we take a look at longs, they've gone from 538 to 528 to 515 to 506. Okay, so we're dealing with 506. So profit taking on long positions as price is moving up. At the same time, when we look at shorts, we can see that they went from a very cooled off 134,000 up to 159, and they're settling at 157. Now, I've told you again that just like with gold, price is in an area on the chart in between some supply and some demand. And for price to really kick in with momentum, one of these areas will have to be removed. So if they remove supply, we'll see price go a lot higher. If they remove demand, we'll see price go a lot lower. So we're watching the chart to see what is going to take place with this one. We have our suspicions that price is going to go up like this over some time, maybe midterm, long term, but we are still watching to see what happens with that one. So interesting thing here is when we take a look at the dollar, we can see that price dropped right here, and as that was happening, they closed longs. And take a look at shorts. From 15,000 to 11,000, big decrease in shorts. Look at the coloration of the cell here. It's blue. It's cooled off. Okay, that means shorts are not important right now to the banks. And that comes at an interesting point because we've been talking about the fact that price is at an area of supply. And for a few weeks, they started to get a little more aggressive with their long positions, and they started to come out of a little bit more of a neutral type of feel on short positions just for a quick little bit until now we're back in neutral again. And if we look at the coloration of the cells, they are more bullish. So does that necessarily mean that price is going to go up? No, I don't think so. Okay, as long as supply is holding, we shouldn't expect anything to continue higher. So we'll continue to monitor this chart as it plays out. Aussie. So we see a big decline in long positions. Okay, we used to be at 64. They dropped them down to 60, and then 47, and now down to a very cooled off 32. Now, I wouldn't be that excited about it dropping to 32 just yet, because we did expect to see some profit taking on short positions. Okay, remember when they were at the 114s, they dropped them down to 117, or pumped it up to 117 right at the very lows, and they started taking profits on those short positions, causing them to drop from 107 now down to 102. Okay, now what is going on here? I've detailed what I believe is going on here. It's in the report, so make sure you read the report. Over the longer term, we still believe that price is going to be heading up, but we did uncover some really interesting things when we were taking a look at the Aussie, okay? Specifically Aussie Japanese yen. It was pointing, showing us some evidence that we may be seeing short to mid-term bearish pressure on the chart. So we will be monitoring the chart and seeing what happens as price plays out. But the sentiment is definitely turning bearish. All right. So now we have USCAD, and the USCAD we see a slight decrease in longs and a decrease in shorts. The sentiment is neutral, even though net positions are turning positive into the positive range. Still not much to go on here. It's in the middle of the ocean. Price can head higher or drop. So nothing here in terms of positions. They're very neutral, so no direction. US Swiss franc, same thing here. Very neutral, 50-50 in terms of their positions. They just closed a bunch of their short positions. But as you can see, price is just ranging here on the chart, and it's not really giving us much to look at. Now, in terms of the euro, if we take a look at positions, take a look, okay? So long positions, they had 233. They've been dropping, and dropping. So they've been reducing their long exposure over the last many weeks. At the same time, shorts, you can also see that the bottom line is they've been reducing their shorts as well. So the only thing that's really transpiring is, you remember the 409? We mentioned this a few weeks back in the EURUSD report, saying that they're very aggressive with their total size, and it's likely we're going to be seeing a reduction in positions to get that back to more manageable size. So now we're at 353,000. Looking at the positions, 54 to 46%, there's not much to go on there. And also remember, if you take a look at net positions, they're just slightly bullish, but nothing very drastic right now. At the end of the day, we still have demand in play. Over time, we should expect more upside unless we see this demand zone break. All right, pound US dollar, we take a look at the pound, we see a big decrease in long positions, okay, as price was rallying up. So they're closing long positions, taking profits, and they slightly increase shorts. Bottom line is recently they became a little bit bearish. Coloration of the cells is also bearish. Not much to go here. We got to really keep focused on what the other charts are saying, what the other markets are saying, because they're really going to be fueling this chart. Next, we have the US dollar Japanese yen, and prices continues to do nothing and continues to show us nothing on the data. Okay, still somewhat bullish for now, but we're going to continue to monitor this to see how it plays out in the future. Okay, so remember, if we go back to the dollar, what are we seeing? Supply is in play, okay, and we're seeing bullishness. Does this mean it's going to rip up? You know, there's always that possibility. This area has to be removed for that to take place, and that hasn't happened, okay? But at the same time, when we look at the US dollar Japanese yen, we're seeing that bullishness really coming through here, right? So does that support a push higher, or is this all in preparation for a big drop? We'll continue to monitor this one to see how that plays out. Kiwi, big increase in longs from 17 to 20. Okay, that takes long positions out of cooled off territory into more aggressive territory. But they also reduced their shorts, so that's quite bullish what we're seeing here. That takes net positions from a -2 to a positive 3,000, and that takes the sentiment from bearish into more neutral waters. Big rally up. Okay, it fell short of hitting demand, so this kind of leads to what I was saying about what we are finding with the Aussie, that in the short term, we may be seeing, short to mid-term, we may be seeing a push to the downside. So we'll continue to monitor that as well during the week. And we'll be posting more information into our Telegram page as well. All right. If you haven't seen us on our Telegram page, I would recommend that you find us because we are sharing a lot on our page. Okay. So go to www.whiteoakfx.com, and if you take a look at the bottom of the page, you'll notice that there's a link there that you can join us. All right. Thank you very much. Have a good one, and we'll see you around. Take care.